Hello everyone and welcome back to Brink of Speed. My name is Mike and today I'm excited to talk about how the new C8 Z06 is the cheapest $100,000 embarrassment to supercars. Alright ladies and gentlemen, so as you know, I am extremely passionate about this Corvette Z06 even though we are all having to wait a lot longer than we thought we were going to have to. However, as you know, GM is only going to make about 291 to 296 of these Z06s between now and the end of October, beginning of November. So until then, I am stuck just being able to do what I'm doing right now, which is bringing you guys amazing Z06 content from the news out there and from all of the other people that have gotten their hands on this car. And so I wanted to discuss something that I've talked about on my live videos recently, but I haven't really broke it down on a video like this for you guys. Obviously, this Z06 has done everything that GM built it to do. It definitely seems to impress everyone who gets their hands on it. And I don't see why it wouldn't, but we were all wondering what would happen once YouTubers and car magazines started getting their hands on it. So that's what I'm gonna go over with you today. And real quick before we get into it, I wanna thank my thumbs up squad. You guys have been absolutely incredible. Thank you for already smashing that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel and you have not done so, please do so. That really helps YouTube understand that you're really liking the content. And if you're new to the channel, please do me a favor and smash that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. All right, let's get into it. So as you saw in the intro there, we have Miss Emelia, who has absolutely done the Corvette community a solid throughout her last couple of years on YouTube. As you know, she went ahead and took a normal Stingray from the 495 horsepower that it currently has all the way up to like 1200 horsepower and set all sorts of records at the drag strip and really did a lot of research and development for GM, if you ask my personal opinion on the matter, because she really helped GM see what their brand new mid-engine platform was capable of doing with all of that extra horsepower and what needed to be fixed and changed. And she came up with all these solutions as she took the Stingray through that process. And so GM rewarded her big time with a beautiful Z06 to take and do videos on. So as you see here, we've got a couple of videos. They're both super impressive. The first one is the exclusive first quarter mile 2023 Z06 new world record. And if you watch that video, you will see that she gets a 10.51 at the track in the quarter mile, which is really impressive. But then she takes her car to a landing strip and goes up against a Lamborghini Evo, which is a Huracan, super fast car, and a Ferrari 458, which is her own car that's been souped up a little bit. And you'll just have to watch the video. You will see the Z06 absolutely destroy them, 0 to 60 and in the quarter mile both. So that's the first instant that we see this car just absolutely dominating in the supercar world. So thanks to Emelia. Check out both of these videos. It is well worth the time watching both of them. Now you guys know I absolutely love Speed Phenom. He is one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. And here we have a video where he was able to get out in a Z06 with the Z07 package at a beautiful track in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and just showed us exactly what this car was capable of. And on top of that, when he gets out of his car, the way that he talks about it and compares it to other supercars and makes statements where you can tell that this car has impressed him even more than most of the supercars that he's driven. It's super incredible to see that this car is, you know, $150,000, $160,000 car that he's driving, and it is impressing him more than the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 cars that he's driven. Okay, let's move on to Throttle House. Throttle House is a awesome YouTube channel. If you have not checked them out, make sure you do so. But here they have the 2023 Corvette Z06 review, and it says the $100,000 supercar. and then they go on to both drive the car and give absolutely in-depth reviews on it and end up calling it a supercar. It is really, really interesting to hear how they break this car down compared to Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and McLarens, and really give you all of the information you need to know about why this car truly is just as good, if not better in some ways, and absolutely better in a lot of ways than those other supercars. So again, just another testament to how this new Z06 costing right around $100,000 at base price is definitely the supercar bargain of the century. Now, Savage Geese, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of these guys, but these guys give us a really great treat because this guy, actually both of them are great drivers and they're able to drift the car around corners. But as you'll see here, it says 58 minutes long right here. And so most people would be like, oh, I'm not watching a 58-minute long video. But let me tell you something. If you don't know much about the Z06 and you want to learn pretty much everything there is to know about the Z06, click on this video, take an hour out of your day, watch the thing. It is very entertaining, and on top of that, you learn a lot. They've given a couple of cons in this video, but nothing that would discourage you from buying the car. So let's move on. All right, so as you guys can see, I'm on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum, and we're gonna scroll down to this Porsche Rennlist posters. I talked about this on my live last night, but I know that most of you weren't on there, and so I wanted to get this out to the masses. And so this right here is just another testament to how impressive this new Z06 is, because the Porsche owners on the Rennlist, which is Porsche's biggest forum, all talking about how amazing this new Z06 is and how they should buy it and others should buy it. And so when you scroll down here and you read some of their posts, which I'm not going to read today, I'm going to let you guys read as I'm on this. And then, if you want to pause the video right now and read exactly what these all say, great. But they are all saying one thing after another as to why they would rather have the Z06 than a Porsche. And that right there is just huge. It just makes me know that once I do get it, all of the wait is going to be well worth it. So let's move on. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we're sticking with the Mid-Engine Corvette forum for this car and driver article. And I'm not going to go over everything said in this article because there's so much said, and most of it is just covering everything that you already knew about the car. However, I do want to say that the cover to this car and driver is a little over the top in my opinion. They actually call it a hypercar, and that is something that I do not agree with. Just so you know, I believe it's a supercar, but not a hypercar. Now, when the ZR1 comes out, or the Zora, or both, maybe we will be able to call both of those hypercars, or just the Zora a hypercar, but definitely not this Z06. It may sound exotic and like some of the hypercars out there, but most cars that are considered hypercars are well over $1 million, and that's not even the biggest reason. The biggest reason is because they have 1,000+ horsepower. That's why they're considered a hypercar. So I digress. Let's move on. So one of the things that it says here is it'll have way less torque than its predecessor, and it'll get way worse fuel economy, but nobody will care because it'll sound so righteous at 8,500 RPM that you'll forget your own name. I really like that. And then it says, we might be paraphrasing a little, but that essentially is Chevy's pitch for the 2023 Corvette Z06 and its singular LT6 V8. We can't believe General Motors actually built this thing, and maybe neither can GM. So they automatically, right off the bat, are super impressed with this. And there's also some other really cool quotes in here. So this is the next thing that I wanted to show you, and that is, says, it's like the Z06 channels the high winding spirit of the 6th Gen Z06, but with so much more sophistication. This is the Ferrari that Ferrari doesn't make anymore. By the way, I love that statement, but what are they actually saying there? To me, what they're saying is that Ferrari came up with the 458, and when they did, everybody celebrated that car big time because that revved 9,000 RPM sounds absolutely amazing. It's naturally aspirated, it has almost 600 horsepower, and it did phenomenal at the track, even phenomenal at the drag strip. But Ferrari after that decided to make the 488 and make a smaller V8 with twin turbos. And now every Ferrari that comes out is a V8 with twin turbos. So they no longer have that high revving, high pitched, beautiful sound of the flat plane crate motor. So I think that's what they're saying when they say this is the Ferrari that Ferrari doesn't make anymore. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. So I just wanted to read this last part to you real quick. Corvette engineers could have built a forced induction Z06 that was more powerful than this. That would have been easy. Instead, they chased a subjective experience, the howling mid-engine exotic fantasy we all carry in our heads. Against all odds, they made it real. And ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly 100% correct in my opinion. They did exactly what a lot of us had in our heads, which was the picture of the perfect Z06, the perfect track car, the perfect sounding car. They built it. We basically asked them and they followed through and did it. And I don't know about you, but that gets me excited every time I think about it. Instead of me focusing on the negative all the time with the Z06, I try and think of things just like this and focus on all the positives, and I hope you do the same thing. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope this helps you understand why I believe that this is truly the cheapest $100,000 embarrassment to supercars that GM has ever built. And we haven't even scratched the surface yet. Right now, it's brand new. People are out there testing the limits of it, but we have not seen track times from people yet. We have not seen the drag races that I know we will see coming against even faster cars. And then, of course, the road courses are coming. So I cannot wait for that stuff. I hope you guys are excited about it as I am. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. If you enjoyed it, please give me a big thumbs up. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys out on the road.